You know who made it.
So we're gonna bustle on through. So we had today. Our topic is on children and on is your child okay? And we're gonna talk about children's health, healing, and wholeness.
Mhm.
And clearly, you can tell that our parents make sure.
Yes, we
and they're
really. I
raised
would say we really.
very
Yeah.
very sound and well-rounded women, and you can hear that in our relationship and how we communicate, and even the things that we teach about growing up in our childhood. But we want to discuss these topics with children, and so a couple things are nationally recognized this month. Starting with September is well, let's address this. We didn't handle this first. Angelique, this month is National Fruit and Veggies Month. What is our featured fruit and veggie for this month?
Excuse me. Our fruit and veggie. Oh, excuse me. Our fruit and veggie is bok choy.
Bok choy.
Bok choy. and And bok choy, I would say bok choy is one of those bok choy is one of those vegetables that if you don't like certain flavors, you probably won't like it. But it is a very beneficial vegetable that you probably need to be aware of. So, bok choy you can have shredded raw. You can have in a salad. You can have it steamed, in a stir fry, braised, grills. Added to soups and salads, and so many soups and stews. So it's a lot of different things you can do with bok choy. It has a lot of fiber, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients that make it, just something you should add to your diet outside of like lettuce and the things about like lettuce, broccoli, greens, things like that. It has a lot of antioxidants. It aids in the prevention of cancer, so that's something you should be aware of. Bok choy is a nutrient-dense vegetable that contains many essential vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and other important nutrients. It has vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin B1, B2, B3, and B6. Calcium.
Wow.
Yeah, it has a lot of the B's, which is always good. Calcium, potassium, selenium, zinc, copper, magnesium. It is very nutrient rich. Bok choy helps.
Just gave y'all some bok choy. I should have kept that stuff over here.
Bok choy helps reduce your risk of developing cancer. It's full of cancer-fighting compounds such as vitamin C and E, beta-carotene, folate, and selenium. Fights inflammation. And when you think about inflammation, a lot of people think inflammation is certain things, but if you have, I should say, arthritis is inflammation. Pain in your joints is inflammation. That's, if you really need to look in what is inflammation and see what that helps. Lowers the risk of heart disease, promotes bone health. Bok choy is high in calcium, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, and vitamin K. Protects eye health, boosts immune health, keep skin healthy. And for me, because because this is just a thing of what my dad taught us. I don't like to say I have eczema, but eczema is on my body. So skin health is anything that has skin health. I always look at, because that's something I want to pay attention to. Helps ensure a healthy pregnancy. If you're trying to get pregnant, are pregnant, look into that. Vitamin K aids in proper blood clotting, which may cause complications for individuals taking blood thinners such as warfarin. So if you're taking things that kind of help with blood clotting or certain things, just be aware that what bok choy does might not to say conflict, but just might affect what your medications might be doing. So just be aware of that and talk to your doctor. So just those are the main things that I pulled up, that I looked at for bok choy. So I would say the main thing, because I'll start from the bottom up. The main thing is just if you have any type of blood issue, and definitely be aware of it and talk to your doctor if you need to. Where we've said it before, we're not doctors, we're not medical professionals, none of us have any type of license like that. So just definitely be aware of that, and if you need to talk to your medical professionals and all that, definitely do that, and just be aware of everything. We're not going to ever tell you, just do this, don't do that, no. So, just be aware. I say be aware. We don't ever want anybody to do anything that can hurt them. So, those are the benefits. I personally like bok choy. Everybody in our house likes bok choy. If you don't like celery, you probably won't like bok choy. Bok choy, the leaves and the stem of it taste kind of different. The leaves have a more bitter taste, and not in a bad way, but it's a more bitter taste. And then the leaves of it taste, not the leaves, but the stems of it taste more like a watery celery. So if you don't like any of those flavors, you might not like bok choy. But if you just could be like, these are good for me and I want to help myself, eat the bok choy. It'll help you. It's not gonna hurt you. Because I will eat something in a hot minute. I will eat something definitely that is just, that is definitely just, that I will personally eat something that's just good for me, because I just know what is, what's good for my body, what'll help me, all that. So it's up to you. Do what you do. I'm not going to tell anybody to do anything they shouldn't do. And I would definitely tell people that have any type of blood clotting issue or blood issue, definitely check with your doctor, because I definitely don't want anybody to hurt themselves. But, just, check out some stuff. I know some people in our family don't like bok choy. I'm not going to say who.
Shady boots.
I'm not gonna say who don't like it. I'm not gonna say who.
How dare she out you like that?
I'm not gonna say who. I'm not
We not gonna vegetable shame. We not gonna vegetable shame. That's what we not gonna do.
That's what not gonna do. I didn't say who it was. I don't know who it is. It's not me, but I don't know who it is.
Ugly, just ugly.
But yeah, there's some people in our family who should be eating more vegetables and fruits. Don't be doing stuff they boopity boop. But yeah, I got the image. If y'all, anybody that's live streaming and watching us right now, I got the image of the bok choy on the screen so y'all can see what it looks like. The main is bok choy. It's baby bok choy, which is adorable. This literally looks like this, but it is little. It is so small. It is so cute. And then you can get it in the separate leaves, which I don't know why they sell it like that. But I know I've seen it the normal size bok choy. I get it at our I get it at Food Lion. It's probably at other grocery stores. If you have any type of Chinese grocery store in your city, then you could probably find other types of bok choy as well. But I would say if you don't like the taste of bok choy, then you might want to look into putting it in like soups and stuff like that to kind of cover the taste. But don't overcook it. But it has so many benefits. You should definitely look into it. And if you don't have any blood issues in your body, I would say definitely check it out. I like it. Everybody in our house likes it. Do what you do.
It's the way that you keep saying everybody in our house likes it. It's that shade that you keep taking it.
I feel you taking it personal. But I feel you taking it personal.
I think you sending it personal.
I feel you taking it personal. I feel you taking it personal. I feel you taking it personal.
We're not doing no food fights. What we not gonna do?
But I just say I would. What we not gonna do?
No food fight.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so many benefits to bok choy. And I just picked and choose some. You know, I didn't pick all of them. It's a lot. But
are you gonna post it on our social media?
I will definitely post it. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna post it on our socials, on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter page, and our YouTube page. In our links on our edited YouTube video that will come out Monday. I'll post that. But just definitely I would say this is how I feel. Research bok choy if you're wondering. My thing is that look into it. If you're like, I don't know, look into it. And my thing is that if it helps you and if it has benefits, especially, we're not talking about vitamins and minerals, we're talking about food that grows from the ground. Look into it. If it doesn't have a risk of hurting you, eat it.
Right.
You know, it's this is what's growing. You know. So, yeah. Definitely check into it, look into it, check it out. If you're not a person that's just like, oh, I don't want to have it because it's, it doesn't taste good, well, you might not like it. But if you're just like, I'm going to eat something that's good for us, take it. Because we normally make bok choy salads, and we'll take we'll chop up the stems and the leaves and make a salad out of that. And the stem is almost like it's almost like a more bitter celery. So we'll just make that, and it's just it's a different flavor. But I'm like this: if it's good for me, I'll eat it. Okay. If it just tastes bad and it's not good for me, I'm not gonna eat it. So that's just kind of how I do with that. So
okay, thank you, Angelique.
That's where I am with that.
All right. So also this month, Thank you, Angelique.
And then she gonna just spill it all out at the end.
I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
So this month is also National Family Meals Month, and my children are all grown, but I know what it feels like to have to prepare meals for a growing family. I know what it feels like to have to know what it means to have to store those quick recipes when you're working and juggling a family, and you need to know those that you need to make in 20 minutes or 30 minutes or less, those meals that you need to be able to do with little preparation, with as few ingredients as possible. And so Chantalie still has younger children, and she has even more kids than me. Chantalie, what is a quick tip or a quick meal for your family that works for you?
Before you say that, Johnny, what's your youngest and oldest? Just so people can know.
My youngest just turned 5 on Monday. My oldest is 15.
Okay. And how many you have?
4.
4. She got 4.
Okay, so the one they like the most, the quick meal they like the most is I think it's a Korean meal that I found. And whenever I'm looking for meals, I'm always looking at quick, cheap, healthy meals.
Yes, I understand.
That's what you're gonna see in my search. Okay.
I don't have kids, but I feel you.
I don't care what country or what kind of culture it's from. As long as it's quick and cheap, I'm gonna try it. So I tried a Korean. I think it's Korean, and it's ground. You can use ground turkey or ground beef. I wish I could remember the name. I tried to look it up. I couldn't see what it was. Maybe if someone's listening and you hear me describe it, maybe you can, maybe you might know the name.
Okay.
But so it's ground beef or ground turkey, and then add soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce, and no, I don't think Worcestershire sauce, but add soy sauce and add brown sugar, and I add
I don't want to interrupt you, but what if somebody is vegan or vegetarian? Can they use I'm saying you said ground.
You can use a meat substitute.
They could probably use I know I've used ground. It's a meat substitute you use. We had the fast.
Those meat crumbles.
Meat crumbles is what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
It sounds like it would work the same.
Okay.
But I've never used it, so I can't say for sure. But it sounds like if it's meat crumble, then it sounds like it's the same thing as ground beef or ground turkey.
I made it one time. I made spaghetti with that.
It tastes the same. It tastes the exact same.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you should be able to use that if you're vegan or vegetarian. I'm guessing. But I'm just saying what I know.
Okay.
So you put that. You can add like chives. Add whatever kind of vegetables you want to add. But they like the sweetness of it. And then I put rice with it. I keep the rice simple. Just a little.
What kind of rice do you use?
White, just regular white. You can use brown as well.
What about okay, we use parboiled in our house. So you think that would do the same?
Parboiled. It's parboiled would work.
I don't see how it would parboiled. I mean, I don't see how it would be different, but I'm just saying when I find something that work, I do that and that alone. And I'm
just asking because I know people use a lot of different things. So I'm not saying don't do what you do, but
I think that parboiled should. I think whatever kind of rice that you want to, try with it. But I do. Because you gotta do what works. But my kids like that is sweet. That the meat is sweet, basically. Because I put brown sugar in it.
Okay. So they more focused on the meat than anything else.
Yeah. So, but it fills them up because it's ground beef and or ground turkey and it's the rice that's with it that they like. So it's beef and rice basically. So that's one thing. And then also, to go to spaghetti, I
Oh,
use
yeah.
my in-laws show me, put barbecue sauce in it, but that's the go-to. Basically any type of meat and noodles and rice. But
I agree with you. Kids are very, unless you have kids that are very particular. It's yeah. You have to be specific. Yeah. Go ahead.
so spaghetti, and then I do puttanesca. So that is like spaghetti noodles and tuna fish. Just like it's basically like spaghetti, but it's small variations. But it's just with tuna fish, and so that's Italian.
You made that before, and I don't remember exactly what puttanesca was.
We put olives in it. We put what else is it? I can't think of what it is. But yeah, it's just tuna fish. Tuna fish,
canned tuna fish.
Tomato sauce and spaghetti noodles and some cheddar cheese and some olives and
what olives? Which ones?
Green. You can use green and black, green or black. Whatever. But olives and capers. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
But yeah, cheese with that. That's you good to go on that. And that's like just real quick stuff. Also, something I've been doing lately. And this
before you go on, what kind of cheese?
Cheese cheddar.
Like shredded.
Cheddar.
Okay. I like that. I like to make sure everybody got it because I'm like when I'm looking up stuff on YouTube and stuff, I'm like I want to know all the tips.
Okay. And the last thing is noodles. It's just tuna fettuccine. Like I get any type of noodles. They like different type of noodles. So I get bow tie, elbow, rotini, like whatever they got. I just pick it up and they like to see what kind of noodles I'm using this week. Is
it any kind of noodles they don't like anything they're just like not like that?
For some reason, Khalil don't like bow tie noodles.
But I'm saying like in general. Khalil,
I don't really know why. I don't know why. But no, basically they like all of them.
So any type of like short noodle, like bow tie, rotini, macaroni.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, chill out. Just Alfredo sauce. Season it. Season the sauce up.
Okay.
It's Italian, so just throw the tuna fish in there. I use like 4 cans of tuna fish. That's like my go-to really quick meals. Oh, the last one is chicken salad.
Before you go to chicken salad, are you saying that the tuna fish that's with the oil or water? It doesn't matter because I know those have different flavors.
I don't buy tuna fish in oil, so
you do get the one in water.
Yeah.
Okay. She gets the one in water, y'all.
And in oil, it tastes really nasty.
But I just want people to make sure they get what you're getting and making it hot. It makes a difference. Makes a difference.
And then the last is just chicken salad. I'll bake the chicken or like pan sear it. And then they like putting their own salads together. So, with the eggs and the croutons and bacon bits or real bacon, turkey bacon, and, just, putting all the vegetables and stuff that they want to put on there. And that's
what kind of chicken pieces do you use?
They like boneless, skinless chicken breasts.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You don't think it, but like I know when I look up recipes, it does matter. So, for what you're talking about, boneless chicken breasts, do you use the one pack like in the packs you peel open, or just doesn't matter? Just boneless chicken breasts.
You said what?
Do you use the ones that's like Purdue, that's like in the packs like that are like singular
no
or you just use just whatever
packs of chicken. Well, we got a family of 6, so I get the biggest packs.
Okay.
That's coming saran wrap or whatever.
Do you think it would matter if somebody got those?
No, it wouldn't matter.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So just boneless chicken breast and do the same thing you just said.
Yep.
Okay. I'm so detailed when it comes to recipes. I will like I need to know what I'm getting. But yeah, you got some ideas. I might need to go back. I ain't gonna lie. I probably will go back and rewatch, listen to some of these and be like, write this down. She said this. But yeah, you got some good ideas. Cause I don't think I made the puttanesca one.
Yeah, they like that one.
I don't think I think I'm gonna try the puttanesca one. That sounds good.
I want to try the tuna Alfredo.
That's in the refrigerator right now. You made that last week, and then some more left. You need again tonight.
Yeah, you got a lot of you got a few recipes that are very good for, especially for people. I wouldn't even say for parents because I don't have children right now, but for people that are just looking for recipes that are just like quick, that I could do for myself, that are quick and just, hey, it's this, do this, and that. So you have some very recipes that are good for just people that are just want something quick and not have to do a whole lot of serious deep stuff, So I for even me editing, I might go ahead and look back through and look through some stuff because you have some stuff I might check out.
Sounds good. So this month is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month and Childhood Cancer Awareness. And the health of our children is very important.
Yes.
Yeah. And we want to be focused on that. And so I want to share some information with you all. First of all, I want to share with you the beginning of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month actually only just started, and awareness just 10 years ago in 2012, President Obama proclaimed September to be National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month to bring awareness to pediatric cancer, which is the leading cause of death by disease for children under the age of 14. If you didn't know, of course, when you're seeing the different colored ribbons that people wear when they're observing and honoring different cancer survivors awareness, the gold colored ribbons, when you see that, the yellowish gold, that is for childhood cancer awareness. Whenever you see that, that is for the child who has cancer or the family of the caregivers. So whenever you see that, you should always be mindful of that.
Yeah.
September is a month and a time to shine the light on the realities of childhood cancer, emphasize the importance of life-saving research, and join together to make a difference in children diagnosed. The situation is urgent. Incidents and rates are rising, and cancer remains the leading cause of death by disease for children. I can tell you, for me, that really concerns me. And as someone who has been surviving cancer for years, and I know what I personally go through, it breaks my heart to think what a child goes through in their body. I know what I go through physically, mentally, and emotionally, and to think what a child, and especially even a baby, an infant goes through, that just hurts. What that put through, and then what that has to put a parent through, the family through, to watch their child be in so much pain, to be so sick, to be weak. And I know how to take care of myself, but a young child can't always even tell you what's wrong.
Yeah. They just know something might hurt, so I don't feel good.
Right.
Can't say my scapula feels off. Yeah.
And they're still finding so much with kids for that reason too. And children are often misdiagnosed. So many symptoms with adults mirror and mask And so it's even worse with kids, because, you got to think with adults, so many things like, fever, chills, vomiting, that type of stuff is common. It's even more common with kids. So if you come and say, well, my child is running fever, my child is, been lethargic or just a lot or been throwing up, well, you're quick to say for a child, for sure, oh, that's probably just a flu.
Yeah, so, or ear infection or a cold,
right,
or whatever. Yeah.
It's just it takes really being diligent and caring for a child. So here's some facts about childhood cancer. 47 children per day, or 17,293 children per year, are expected to be diagnosed with cancer just in the United States. Childhood cancer is not one disease. There are more than 12 major types of pediatric cancer and over 100 subtypes. Cancer is the number one cause, again, by death by disease among children worldwide. 100,000 children lose their lives every year to cancer. Only 6 drugs have been, this was heartbreaking for me to learn. Only 6 drugs have been approved in the first instance for use in children. Only 6. This is compared with hundreds of drugs that have been developed and approved for adults. Ugh. Despite numerous clinical trials, a diagnosis of diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma, DIPG, is typically terminal, with only 10% of DIPG patients surviving for even 2 years after diagnosis. More than 95% of childhood cancer survivors will have a significant health-related issue by the time they are 45 years of age. These health-related issues are side effects of either the cancer or, more commonly, the result of its treatment. So meaning if a child has cancer, it's almost a guarantee they will have either cancer again as an adult or a health-related complication or problem as an adult. And a lot of times,
you're trying to make me cry on purpose.
And a lot of times it's not even a cancer. A lot of times they will have a problem as a result of the chemo or the treatment that they've gone through. And oftentimes, this is what I've known. I actually just recently spoke to someone. It affects their heart. Their hearts become weak. Their hearts tend to give out. It affects their bones. It affects the lungs, and it'll affect your brain. Let's see. Approximately, here's a little bit more defined numbers. Approximately 1 in 285 children in the, 1 in 205 in the U.S. will be diagnosed with cancer before their 20th birthday.
That's not even any type of time.
Globally, so we said 100,000 children lose their lives worldwide every year, but actually, a little bit more detailed research says globally is more like 300,000 children. So here's actually the numbers. So 100,000 children they believe will lose their lives to cancer, but they globally, there are more than 300,000 children diagnosed with cancer every single year. 20% of children with cancer in the U.S. will not survive that 1 in 285 number. Every 3 minutes, a family hears the devastating words that their child has been diagnosed with cancer. Every 3 minutes. So this is, for me, even when I was doing the research and preparing this, I did cry. Like, I cried and cried. I speak to cancer patients. I speak to children. I work with children, and I just think, even more, how much more can I do? And even how much more can I be a help to the parents and families of children who are affected? Because what I know personally is when someone is diagnosed, truthfully, the whole family knows. The whole family with it. Some of the leading causes, types of cancers, and things and symptoms that we should be aware of are leukemia, specifically acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is called ALL. Is the most common type of childhood cancer. It is most often occurs in children ages 3 to 5 and affects slightly more boys than girls. ALL affects a type of white blood cell called lymphocytes, causing them to build up in the liver, spleen, and lymph nodes. It is most common in Hispanic children, followed by those of white and African American descent. Neuroblastoma, which is a solid tumor, accounts for 50% of all cancers in infants, making it the most common tumor in children younger than 1. It can be inherited or passed down in families. Treatment can include surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation therapy for patients with less aggressive spread, and stem cell transplant for higher risk patients. And I want to point out, chemotherapy and radiation therapy are not the same treatment. And a lot of times people think they're the same, and they are not. They are drastically different. Medulloblastoma, which is a brain tumor, is the most common malignant brain tumor of childhood. It is a brain tumor of the cerebellum, which controls balance and coordinated movements. It is commonly treated with surgery to remove the tumor, followed by radiation and chemotherapy. Rhabdomyosarcoma, soft tissue cancer, is a type of cancerous tumor that arises in the soft tissue, such as muscles. It is the most common type of soft tissue sarcomas in children. About 2/3 of these cases are diagnosed in children younger than age 10. Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer is a type of cancer that affects the immune system and causes affected lymph nodes to get larger. Children are more likely to develop it if they have a weakened immune system, have been affected with Epstein-Barr virus, mono or HIV, or have a close relative who has been diagnosed. Young adults and older adults are diagnosed with more often than young children. I want to point out that all of these forms of cancer tend to be painful in children. Excluding the blood cancer and the ALL, the leukemia, and the lymphoma can cause pain, but those two blood cancers cause extreme fatigue and weakness and sickness and other things. But the other ones, the brain tumors, those other tumors, the ones in the muscles and stuff, are extremely painful and cause other things to happen in the bodies. And that's why they cause, like, you'll see the treatments for those are surgeries, chemo, radiation, because they're really trying to remove those cancers from the body as quickly as possible and as aggressively as possible.
Now,
so we want.
I don't want to, if you don't want to answer, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But the types of cancer you've been diagnosed with through your life, are they similar to those? Are they?
Mm-hmm. I've been diagnosed with chronic lymphocystic leukemia. So the leukemia I have is similar to the ALL. I have CLL,
Okay.
It just means, so acute means that a cancer is aggressive and fast moving. Chronic means that it moves slower. It has a slower onset, and it can have a slower development and last longer in the body. So when anything is acute, it usually means it is faster heart hitting, and it gives a shorter lifespan as well. So if anyone tells you that they have ALL or AML, which is the myeloma, they usually have a very shorter lifespan. The chronic leukemias, they tell us that we have longer lifespans usually. There's that. And then with the lymphoma, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma earlier on. I went into remission, but that caused some other issues with me. When it's in your lymph nodes, it just causes that caused a lot of pain, a lot of fatigue, a lot of sickness.
So I don't want to interrupt you, but just because some people might not know, what are your lymph nodes, like where are they, what because I know you would have had to been told that when you were discussing things. So like what
your lymph nodes are usually found like around like your neck. So a lot of times, like when you go for your exams and they're checking like your like behind like your ears, down your neck, those are sometimes your lymph nodes can be in other places, but they'll start there. You can have lymph nodes in your groin. You can have lymph nodes in different places in your body, but they're just the places where your body's carrying major blood cells.
Okay.
And you don't want your white cells to accumulate in your lymph nodes. You don't want high white blood counts there, because that means that your body's not protecting itself. They become reserves, and then that's not helping you at all.
And so you're saying you don't want your white blood cells to colonize?
No, you don't want them to colonize in your body at all. You really need it to be diverse.
But a lot of people don't know. Like they hear those words like white blood cells and colonize, and they don't understand those words. Like even when
people don't. I didn't know till I was doing what the white and the red do and the importance of it. So your red is supplying your oxygen. Your white is fighting your infections and keeping you healthy. Your red is keeping you alive. And if either number is off, we have a problem.
Yeah, so some people they don't know that information. Like you think those words, they sound familiar, but they're not. People can't connect the information to those. Like you might hear, oh, I know I've heard white blood cells and red blood cells and all that, but people that might not know what that means. And I know you've in your what you've from your healing and things from years ago, even you know what you've been talked about. Doctors will talk to you about that. So I definitely want you people understand what does that mean when your white blood cells are high or low or red. That's what I was saying. I just wanted you to kind of make sure people know what that is.
Anytime your white blood cell count is really, really high, there's an infection in your body. So I mean, that could be even if you just have the flu, or pneumonia.
Yeah.
When your numbers, it depends on where they're high.
Yeah.
and how and what the number is, and you know, then they kind of go from there. But you never need them to be very, very high, because then that's a problem, because that means that they're not doing their job, which is protecting you and fighting off the infection. They're just accumulating.
Yeah, because even when you're saying that, when I had to go to the hospital, when I found out later I had a gallbladder, gallstones. They were saying, you know, they told me, they were like, oh, your white blood, you know, your white blood cells are low, you know, and if you don't know what that means, it's just like they're just saying words, like they could be speaking German, you don't know what that means, like that, you know. So it's good to know. Is it good to hear your white blood cells are low, high, normal? You know what? You know, like you know, because so many times when you go to the doctor or to an emergency room, they're not. They say words. They're not telling you what that means. So it's like, if you don't know what that means, they're just saying things. So, you know, it's very good to know. And that's why because I'm like, you know, just because of your life and things you've been through, you know what certain terms mean. So I definitely want you to kind of go into that, and you know, without being a doctor, just to kind of.
I'll post more on the website throughout the rest of this month. Of course, again, like this month is for blood cancer awareness and ovarian cancer awareness, which, you know, I've thankfully still been able to survive and be here over the last 7 years against doctors' expectations. So I'm standing for a lot of ribbons.
Oh, you have about 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes ribbons.
And, but that's, you know, what I have to share. And so from that, we're actually going to go ahead and talk about just briefly on this month is actual National Obesity Awareness and Childhood Awareness Month. And so, Angelique, you have some points and things to share about that with us today.
Yeah. I have several things. I'm trying to get my emotions because I watched something today that I didn't know about, and it just really affected me. But it was a state that put a bill through and tried to which it does include the you know, child safety, all that stuff. But it was a state that put a bill through and wanted schools and people in the schools to be able to, Jesus, it's like I want to say it, but it's like they wanted to make it okay for people in the schools to do a physical exam on children to make sure they're their biological gender of the sport they want to be in schools. So if a transgender child, as far as say it was a child that was born a biological male, but they are a transgender female, wanted to play a female sport, the people in the school will be able to do a check on the child to see if they were biologically born a female or a male, to see if they could be in that sport. I just was like, that's molestation. They're not a doctor. We're not talking about a child going to a hospital and getting a check. You know, it's just like, how are you trying to push that bill through? you know. So it's, just it's something I saw. I was watching some more. It's a channel I watch called some more news. I'll put the link in our YouTube channel. That'll come out Monday. But at at some point, I'm gonna get to what I wrote down and everything like that. But at some point, you have to protect your children, not just from the world when you think of certain things, but you almost have to protect them from the government, because so many things are not okay. Like, why are you okay with certain things? So when it comes to National Child Awareness Month, I'm gonna put this link in our video. Comes out Monday, so you all can go on and check that out. But there are 4 guarding principles in the NCAM. Nurture one child. That's all it takes to make a difference. Children are the future of our philanthropy. It is our responsibility to teach them the importance of sharing and giving back. So you should definitely teach your children to, a lot of people kind of look at, you have to have your children go through daycare and stuff, but you, as a parent, should definitely be like, okay, so you have to teach your children to share. And you don't think that's not a lot of, a serious issue, but you definitely have to teach your children to share when they're young, because I used to work in daycares from 16 to maybe 18, 19 years old. So I interacted with children that were not told to share. So I was, I saw kids that parents didn't put that into them. So sharing and interacting with other children is very important. So you should definitely do that. And it's not a major thing. It's just, little things like, oh, your friend wants to play with your toy. Let your friend play with your toy. That's it. Small things. When it comes to, as far as that. Actions speak louder than words. Find a children's cause that's important to you and get involved. Like, if you look, it's so many things that are for children's involvement, children's different things, and just look to see what's out there and research to see if these organizations you're interested in are legitimate, because you should definitely check to see if they're legitimate, because there's so many different organizations that are not realistic and that are legitimate. So definitely research, but get involved with something that helps children of all economic levels. So from the rich to the impoverished, help children. And I personally believe, help children that are impoverished, for me, because those are the children that are not necessarily being helped the most across the board, but they're being covered over as they're not, and being covered over as not an issue, as that is not a real thing. So definitely look at from middle class down. What is in your city or your state that is not helping those children, and do things that help those children, because in general, and I'm gonna say it as it is, white upper class children are being helped the most, and middle class, Hispanic, brown, indigenous, African American children are being helped the least, and that's just statistics. So definitely look into that. Many hands make light work. So join forces with those who share your goals and dreams, and just if you know somebody in your community, somebody in your friendship circle, anything like that, really connect with them and be like, okay, what are you doing to help? Okay, so what can I do to help? You know, and a lot of people think, it's so much to help. Just whatever you can do. Because I think I said this in our last episode, but whatever you can do, help. I'm not a person that's just like, you have to do this major thing. Whatever you can do to help. If you can give $1 to something, it's helping. If you can do major things, time and all this kind of stuff, is help. But anything you can do with the help is a benefit, because I've been around kids that have done things that that need the help. So anything that can help is helpful. And when it comes to National Child Obesity Awareness Month, I've seen so many shows that almost make it like a circus freak show of kids. And my thing is, when it comes to kids, what makes a child obese is what the parents are doing. So a child has no control over what they're doing. A parent or an adult or whatever has a control over that. So you need to be aware of the child as overweight an adult.
No,
That's that's me. That's I look at what could have helped me younger. And I'm not even saying my parents didn't do whatever. It's just me going around my parents doing something I shouldn't have did. Like my mom didn't my mom didn't want us eating white bread then sugar, and I snuck around her and did other stuff. So as an adult, I know, okay, now everything is on me. But as a child, I'm just looking at, okay, help the child. If as an overweight adult, I wouldn't try to make a child that's overweight. If I had a child, like if I had if I had an adopted child, biological child, anything, I would not try to, I would make sure they're as healthy as they could be within my power. So I would make sure they eat healthy. I would make sure they be active, things like that. So child obesity has been a growing problem for decades, from now back. While it has afflicted children across our country, certain Americans have been just affected more than others. Specifically, and people don't want to hear it, but Black and African American people and brown people have been afflicted and have been dealing with that more than Caucasian people. It just is. People don't want to hear it, but it is because of certain things like I can't think of the word of it, but food poverty and things like that. It has affected African American people more than other people in those communities. Particular racial and ethnic groups are more severely impacted as are certain regions of the country. So again, that's what's affecting it. In addition, obesity can be influenced by a number of environmental and behavioral excuse me, behavioral factors, including unhealthy eating patterns and too little physical activity at home and at school. And a lot of people kind of brush over that, but if a child is in a home that is necessarily quote unquote considered poverty, then they can't necessarily go do dance classes, music classes, gymnastic classes. They don't that home doesn't have that ability to help their child outside of that. So that is an issue that people need to look into. We must do more to halt and reverse this epidemic, as obesity can lead to severe and chronic health problems during childhood, adolescence, and adulthood, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and asthma. Not only does excess weight adversely affect our children's well-being, but its associated health risks also impose great costs on our families, our healthcare system, and our economy. Each year, nearly 150 billion are spent to treat obesity-related medical conditions. That's a lot of money that is spent that could just be saved if people just helped at the lower level. Maybe in schools, Michelle Obama did it. Just give kids healthier food. Even if it's, they might not eat the best things at school, but at home, but just that's that. Just help at some point. This is not the future to which we want to consign our children, and it is a burden our healthcare system cannot bear. So it's so many things, for me, I'm just like, when I look at how to help our children, I look at, maybe, obviously the things with diet, obviously certain things, but just, I would say for me to, like when I was doing different research, again today, I just was like, why, when I saw the school that wanted to do a physical search on children to make sure they were the gender they said they were, so they can be in schools. I was like, you have to protect your children from everything. From everything. I just feel like, don't just look at the obvious things, but just, you have to be aware of what's going on with your children. In your homes, when it comes to what they're eating, at their schools, with their teachers, laws, other kids, I'm just a person that just believes you be aware of what's going on with your children. And if you're not doing that, I don't know what to.
A child, I can't even fathom that could have never been my kids.
That made me want to cry. Like when I watched it, and I'm gonna definitely put the link in our YouTube video when I put it up Monday. But that almost made me want to cry, because it's like, why are y'all okay with a random person searching your children's privates to see if they're male or female, or born male?
And then or too under or overdeveloped, then they have the right to search no, that's not cool.
When I saw that, and I'm gonna share that to send that to y'all, and I mean it's long, it's over an hour and a half, but I really want y'all to watch it just because I know you have kids, Chantalie, and you have grandkids, Renee, and it's just like when I saw it, I just was like, why are y'all so but I'm just like, homeschooling is fine, because if I had kids, if I was hearing all this stuff, I would homeschool them.
Oh, 100%.
Period. Because I'm like, if it's between dealing with all these other crazy things and homeschooling, and I would just send them to dance, send them to Little League, send them to other things outside of school. But no, because it's just, no, I'm not gonna do it, because it's just like, I don't understand how nobody is screaming about this, but because they're so concerned about other things, why are you okay with these people wanting to check your children's privates? I just couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand it. But I don't, because I'm like, if I go into that, I'll be on here for hours. Because I just can't. When it comes to kids, I just can't. I can't.
Thank you for that research, Angelique. And anything else additional, we can always just add to our social media for our listeners, or anything else additional that we haven't said on the show. And so, because of time, we're going to quickly transition to Chantalie, because she has some great things to share. This is also World Speak Out Month and Youth Leadership Month. And so Chantalie is going to share on those topics, because she has got a teenager in her house.
She do, and you making me feel old. You make me feel old. No, I'm not ready for you to be a teenager. Go ahead.
So there's it's really important for me that kids are treated, even though that they're kids, they still need to be respected. They're still human beings, and I think that sometimes in our quest to make sure everything is handled in the right way, that we're handling our responsibilities, we can kind of we have to stay mindful that they're even though they're children, they are young human beings who still deserve respect. And so a lot of times when I hear people say, well, you're just a kid, you're not going through nothing, you're just a kid, or they say, when they're trying to express how they feel, they tell them to be quiet, or make fun of them for trying to express how they feel, express their emotions. So, or like if they want to say how they feel, like some parents make so many things disrespectful that it's hard to eat for a child or a teenager to even say how they feel without being considered disrespectful, So I think that it's really important for us to allow our children to express themselves, so that they don't have to experience the same traumas that we've experienced, that we felt like we just had to keep in and hold in for decades. We don't want that for our children. So I feel like understanding how your children express themselves is really important. Every child is not going to express themselves the same way. So when they speak up and speak out, you might have to really look for it, because it might not be with words. It might be the way that they express themselves could be through singing, it could be through dancing, it could be through words, but maybe not spoken words, maybe through writing, maybe through art in itself, like sculptures or things like that. But it's important for us as parents and as caretakers to make sure that we give our children the tools to speak up and speak out. Whether it's letting them know it's okay to communicate, letting them know it's okay to express themselves even if they don't have the right words. Like, even if you don't have the words to express yourself. I'm sorry, y'all. The kids just brought the dog in here with a freaking sweater and pants on. Y'all get out so I can focus. Close the door. Yeah, so giving them the tools to express themselves, even if expressing themselves is running, even if expressing themselves is gymnastics, it's, letting them know whatever you feel inside, it's okay to let it out, and it's not okay to keep it in. I think that's really important. So what I just would kind of want us to look at is, how do our kids express themselves? How do they speak up for themselves? Are we giving them the confidence? Are we giving them the peace to express themselves? Are we giving them the it's another word I'm looking for. It's not peace and confidence, it's the freedom. Are we giving them the freedom to express themselves? A lot of, like I was saying before, a lot of us, especially we see from our some of our parents and some of our grandparents, don't allow our children the freedom to speak up and speak out. Some of us, if we would have spoke out and expressed ourselves, we would have got slapped. We would have got told we was stupid. We would have got told we was lying, So I think it's important to give our children the freedom, but then also let them know that it's okay to express themselves in their own unique way through words. Yeah. And, like I was saying, words, art, drawing, running, things like that. That's all important. And, how do our kids express themselves? Then, how are they not, like, if you notice, how are they not expressing themselves? How are they not speaking up and speaking out? Because if we don't show them how to do that as children, then they're going to be less likely to succeed in life as adults if they don't know how to speak up and speak out for themselves, or say what's going on, how they feel, what they've been through. As adults, that's going to be extra hard on them, And so I would think that I would just try to learn your kids and try to help your kids learn themselves, and just make it a consistent thing, like where people say, where it was really good when people had dinners. We had dinner and people just talked at the table, and the kids were able to talk, and they were learning skills, and that's really important. So I just think helping your kids understand who they are and how to express themselves, whether it's through words or not, whether it's verbally or not, is really important, and just providing a safe space for them. And that's basically what I wanted to say about that.
I think that was incredible and so important. I think that when I think about our life growing up, one of the things I always am telling my parents, well, our parents, I guess I'll share them tonight, but especially telling Mom, because I talk to her so much, but I think that they were incredible at providing that for us. And I think that's created the women that we are, is giving us those spaces. And even when they were just learning how to do it, but providing those for us and teaching us how to be who we were and speak and allowing us to know that we were always safe in our home and with them,
Yeah.
and that that we could all, we could always speak and speak up and speak out
Yes.
as individuals, and that nothing needed to be hidden.
Yep.
And so I just appreciate that so much with them, and it taught me how to be a parent, with my own children. So I think that's incredible.
I think
That was really great teaching. You
Yeah.
know? And as someone who's worked with young people for close to 30 years, a lot of parents don't have that one
no.
down for different reasons. Some of them don't have it themselves.
Yeah.
Some have their own fears and insecurities, and some of it is, unfortunately, control and different things. And I see so many hurting, broken children. But a lot of things that I see with kids, when I worked in the public school system, so many problems, behavioral problems that I saw with kids that, they were so quick to write kids up for, and to look at those kids and I think, that's going back home, whether that's an afraid child, a threatened child, or whatever. That's happening at home. That's not happening here. That's at home, But the more that we can have stronger stability at home, parental structures, and building children up, and children knowing, that they can be safe and strengthened home, our world will change. I want to thank all of our listeners for being with us tonight. We went a little bit longer than usual, but that happens when sisters talk. Nothing wrong with that. That's really the purpose of our show, is just actually giving you, as always, a listening ear into the relationship that we have, and just who we are and what it means to be a part of the Elijah Sisters. So
yeah,
I'm signing off tonight. And we just want to thank you all for letting our family be your family. You all have a great night, and we'll see you all next week.